This young gentleman had never seen a car before in his life.
That's impressive. So he was cooking without a recipe.
Absolutely.
The 1905 Sheldon Runabout. Alaska's first car didn't arrive. It was created. And it was engineered and assembled by a 22-year-old who wanted to win a woman's heart.
Okay, Dan, this car was the very first car in Alaska. It was built from just spare parts. This young gentleman, age of 22, in Skagway, Alaska, had never seen a car before in his life. And it was the car that Love built. This young gal that he kind of admired was being escorted around town by a young gentleman whose father had a horse and buggy that was very fancy. So he thought, if I could build a car, maybe I could get a chance to escort her around town a time or two. But the car was built with old junk parts. I mean, the carriages and stuff that they used on the docks in Dyea, unloading ships, that's what the undercarriage was. The engine came out of a sunken boat, and he rebuilt it.
And he legitimately got this car running?
Yes.
That's impressive. So he was cooking without a recipe.
Absolutely.
And we're talking 1905, so no other cars.
1905.
No other cars were in Alaska yet.
None. And it was the only car ever manufactured in Alaska.
And so these magazines that he's looking at, they wouldn't have printouts of like engineering specs or anything like that.
No, and it would be just advertising pictures more than anything.
So nowadays, if someone wishes to build something mechanical, they go online, they can join a forum, they can search it up on the internet, they can find plans, parts, and yeah, at the very least, they could go to their local mechanic and ask. But Bobby Sheldon, all he had were a couple pictures and some magazines. At that time, the automotive industry was still in its infancy. Henry Ford was still on his way to producing the Model T, which wouldn't debut until 1908. Of course, Ford's cars were manufactured in factories with specialized tools and skilled labor, and Bobby Sheldon was none of that. Yeah, it's kind of the ultimate DIYer's car. It's crazy to me that this is the only car ever built in Alaska. There wouldn't be like a company name associated with this car. I mean, that's why we call it the Bobby Sheldon car. It doesn't have a marquee or any fancy name.
It's a Sheldon. It's the only Sheldon built.
He was competing against a fancy horse and buggy. So how many horsepower did he get into this car?
Probably about 2.5.
How do you take a boat engine and make it move a car?
Just machine some drive pulleys to put onto it.
Well, so Willie, we talked about how this is kind of the ultimate DIYer's car. And so looking at some of these parts, let's take this tire, for example. It's special. It does not look quite like a professional tire I would imagine would be. It looks like they kind of stripped the hide off a cow and stuck it on a piece of wood.
It was kind of like, do whatever you have to do to make it work. And
Right.
So they found material they could bolt on there, old pieces of rubber. And so it was pieced together to put on there. Kind of similar to what they were originally. Originally, they were solid rubber that was put on the wheel. And so these, if you look close at the photos of the car, you'll notice that the tires at that time when the car was built in 1905, it was just as bad as it is today. So so I guess you can say it's held up pretty well. These custom seats were handmade. Custom seats specifically for this car. They're made from a couple of barstools out of a saloon in Skagway.
Looks like he's just kind of, as he did, bolted them together in the middle there.
Yes, just took 2 barstools and made them into a seat. Now,
You know, if it works, right? Well, Willie, that's a kind of a small and unusual looking headlight we've got on here.
it is. It's actually a bicycle headlight.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And it's an acetylene light. In other words, you would put carbide in the bottom, water in this top tank, and when you open this valve and the water drips on carbide, makes acetylene gas, and then that would be lit up here, and you'd have a flame burning up there.
How bright do these little acetylene lamps get? Like how
How far does the light
It
go?
would be equivalent to a flashlight with a dead battery.
Oh, good. That's perfect. That's exactly what I look for when I go outside. I'm like, I'm gonna grab my deadest flashlight, and I'm gonna drive my car with that.
Yeah.
Other automobile manufacturers are spending, tens of thousands, if not $100,000 at the time, which is a ton of money in R&D, trying to build a car that they could sell that would run. And how much do you think Bobby Sheldon spent on this car?
Probably not much. Yeah, R&D for him was retrieve and discover.
Yeah, there we go. Well, so did he win over the girl with the car?
He did get to escort her around town. He donated this car in 1930 to the University of Alaska.
Sheldon's remarkable life spanned nearly a century. He passed away in 1983 at the age of 99.
Wait, what was the line on that one again?
Hold on a second. Let me see what else we got here.
What's that? Oh, you like our content?
Where are we going now?
The Fountainhead Antique Museum, obviously. Please like and subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe.
We have a lot of content we want to show you guys, but please hit that subscribe button right now.